Hi, welcome to Let's Talk About It. If you haven't been here before, my name's Lee. On this channel I talk about geopolitics and current affairs and give you my views and opinions. Now today I want to talk about how I believe the West are controlling the narrative on the Russia-Ukraine situation, and especially the narrative on social media. Now you can call it controlling the narrative, you can call it brainwashing, you can call it people manipulation, you can call it manufacturing consent, but it all boils down to pretty much the same thing. Now this all started a few days after the sanctions were first introduced by the EU and the UK and the USA, and it started by the UK and the EU banning all Russian media or asking YouTube to stop, to remove all Russian media. So Sputnik and RT was removed, and the UK also removed those channels from terrestrial TV as well. Now I'm not sure whether that's the case in Europe. If you do know, let me know down in the comments. And then further than that, it was announced by YouTube that they had demonetized RT across the whole of the network, but they were still uploading videos and there was still RT content on there. And then we move along forward to today, where an announcement has been made through Reuters that YouTube have now completely blocked Russian state media globally on their platform. Now, right now, as I'm making this video, I access YouTube through a VPN connecting through Japan, and I can currently see content from RT. So I don't know whether it's they've stopped them uploading new content or whether they'll be removing the current content from the platform. But as far as Reuters are saying, it is a global block on the Russian-funded state media content. And not only that, but a number of other people who have a voice that goes against the Western narrative have also had content removed from YouTube as well. On top of that, Twitter have blocked and suspended some people who have gone against that narrative also. And Facebook have come out and made a statement, and that statement basically says Facebook temporarily allows posts on Ukraine war calling for violence against invading Russia or Putin's death. Now that's quite shocking to me that a platform is able to call for violence against Russians. Now all that's going to do is create hate crime against ordinary Russian people, which is completely wrong. Now the next thing is something that took place yesterday, a meeting between a group of 30 prominent Russia-Ukraine content creators and Jen Psaki of the White House. Now the reason I think this is unbelievable, it's so ironic, is that a couple of months ago the New York Times produced an article about me and Ollie and another bunch of other China YouTubers, and the title of that article was "Who's Influencing the Influencers?" And the New York Times were trying to say that the only reason we say good things about China or make positive content about China is because we're either paid to or forced to by the Chinese government. Well, of course, that's just absolute rubbish. It's nonsense. But the point is that this meeting of these 30 influencers that was convened by the White House is so they can try and make sure that these content creators are pushing the US government narrative on the Russia-Ukraine situation. And I just think it's a very, very dangerous road that we're going down. Now, a lot of people say, oh yeah, but there's no freedom of speech in China. Well, that's not actually true. There is a lot of freedom here in China, and there's a lot of freedom of speech. It's different to the West, and the media here is very different to the West, but that's a subject for a different video. But the point is, this is being said by countries that propose to be the bastions and they trumpet free speech and democracy. And I often see tweets by Liz Truss. Now, Liz Truss is the Foreign Secretary of the UK. And in many of those tweets, she says, oh, we're standing up for Ukraine, we're fighting against Putin's regime because we are protecting freedom and democracy. But they're actually not protecting freedom and democracy by banning and suppressing on social media voices from a different perspective of their narrative on the Ukraine-Russia situation. And it seems to me more and more that governments are doing this. I've never seen anything on this scale before, to be honest. Now, I'm just going to play you a very short clip from Tucker Carlson.
And that's the other thing that's changed. The tech monopolies now exert a level of control over American public opinion that has no precedent in all of history. Eliminating Section 230 or whatever piddling reform Congress is talking about at the moment, it all seems like a joke at this point. It's too late. The medieval church had less command over society's emotions than Facebook and Google and Twitter now do. For the past 2 years, you have watched these companies, above all, define who you as an American must hate. Depending upon their directive of the day, our citizens dutifully change their social media avatars, from BLM signs to mask up slogans to now Ukrainian flags. Each is a crisis, and each new crisis is carefully stage managed from Silicon Valley at the direction of the White House. How does the human brain compete with this? How does it understand it? Well, it doesn't. Clarity and perspective become impossible. In the hysteria, even the recent past just evaporates. The morning that Russia invaded Ukraine, you may have been talking about a lot of different things, COVID or crime or the southern border. Not anymore. Much to the relief of the White House, all of those topics have been forgotten, maybe forever. No population has ever been more skillfully manipulated than our population is being manipulated right now.
Now, I think that clip is very relevant and very interesting. I think it sums up exactly what I'm thinking about how the governments are exercising more and more control over Western social media, particularly social media, because if you look at most of the Western world rely on social media from American Silicon Valley corporations, and that in times like we've seen now could be quite a dangerous thing. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about the whole situation. Let me know in the comments down below. If you did like this video, please give it the thumbs up so we can get it distributed out to more like-minded people. And also, if you do like the type of content that I'm providing on this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. But for now, as always, take care.